it's because I've been there. It's not because I'm the perfect person. You know, I got a cause for concern in that lesson, and it was tough. Good afternoon, everybody. It's an inset day for me. How lovely. I wanted to come on here, and to be honest, I'm not even sure what I'm gonna say, but I just really wanted to come on here today and almost tell you a story. I know, obviously, I started this YouTube channel to document my journey and offer tips along the way, I suppose. It has kind of become a channel of tips and advice, and you know, I want to continue doing that because I think people are finding it useful, and it's so lovely to receive messages of people saying, oh, this really helped me, thank you so much. It's the highlight of my day and it's why I do it, and I really hope that it can continue to be a resource that people refer back to. But I really just wanted to document, or rather retell, a part of my journey that I haven't really told anyone in public before. Hang on, this might actually end up being a long video, so I'm going to get the tripod so my art doesn't ache. Hang on, bear with me. Okay, we are back with tripod. Hands free, woo. Yeah, so I've never really told the story before, apart from, you know, to friends and family. And for anyone that is starting placement, or they have, you know, they are halfway through their PGCE and they might have days that they just feel like utter rubbish. This is kind of for you, to let you know that even though people might portray themselves as a certain teacher, or you know, they might have certain capabilities, everyone's journey has been rocky at some point or another, and I really just wanted to tell my rocky part of the teaching journey. So basically it's been a year now, and I kind of feel like I can talk about it rationally and calmly and use it more as an approach to be reflective and give you some maybe tips and advice along the side of it coming from that experience, rather than it being a massive rant and a source of passion and angst. It was October 2019. If you didn't know, I did the school direct approach. So I was in school since September. It was now a month in, and my tutor, so the person from my SCITT provider, decided to come and observe me. My class were, I think of them so fondly now, but at the time they caused me so much stress. They were absolutely delightful children, so lovely. Try not to get emotional now, because one day I just said bye to them in March and I never ever saw them again, which kind of makes me a bit upset. But there were certain characters in my class that now kind of make me chuckle, but gosh, they made teaching hard. So there were 8 boys, I'd say, all fighting for that kind of alpha male position. If one would, I don't know, maybe shout something out, the others would join, trying to have one up on them. And it really disrupted the class. It did make teaching harder. I definitely think that the other children got disrupted by them. And you know, that's not fair on them. So we really did try and knuckle down on behaviour. But of course, for those children, especially having 6 weeks off of school, maybe not having very much structure at home, they were still in the process of kind of finding that balance, finding that structure again, getting settled in, especially if you just shove a brand new teacher in the classroom just to add to that mix. It was difficult for them, and we could see that, and we felt that in our teaching. It was tricky, and so my tutor came in and he was observing a maths lesson, and the maths lesson was on time, and I had lots of different cut-off groups happening. Some were working independently, some with a TA, some were with me on the carpet, and they had those cute little clocks about that size, you know, that you can ask them, can you show me 4 o'clock? And they kind of twirl the hand around. One of the boys, one of the 8 boys, decided to just stand up and walk around. And, you know, I said, go sit down, that kind of thing. I said it a few times, did the whole countdown thing, just completely ignored me. I was like, oh my goodness, how embarrassing. Eventually, of course, he sat down. He wasn't just going to stand up forever. But it made me look rubbish, so to speak. And straight away, my confidence just went, because I really, you know, I set the expectations firmly at the beginning of the lesson, and before he arrived, I did say, somebody is coming in today to see if you are the best class in the school, you know, that kind of thing. You don't tell them why that person is actually there. So I was kind of hoping that, you know, they would listen, but they didn't. And then with my cut-off group, some of them were playing with the clocks and that kind of thing. But with some of them, it was more of that sensory need to fidget type of thing. It wasn't disruptive. So after I did that cut-off group, I then went to the other groups, we did the work, that kind of thing. The tutor left about halfway through the lesson, maybe not even halfway, maybe 15 minutes in. It didn't feel long at all, and I was surprised, because I thought, oh, okay, you know, we're still in the main body, there's the plenary to go, there's the transition. But anyway, he went with my mentor, and they went down to discuss, and long story short, when it came to that meeting, I felt slaughtered. Honestly, I felt absolutely slaughtered. There were some comments that he fed back to me, and they were very valid. You know, there was one group that were doing work independently. I think they were the greater depth children. I had a challenge on the board for them to get on with while I was with the cut-off group. And he asked them at some point while I was teaching, and they said, oh, I'm finished, I'm just waiting. And, you know, fair enough. I didn't know that cut-off group took too long. And again, that was me being brand new teacher, only October, 1 month in. Pacing was still an issue, even as late until December or January. By the way, sorry, I keep bashing into my piano just with my hand actions. So that was very valid. You know, I was like, fair enough, I didn't know, next time I'll prepare a challenge. But other things he said, and he wrote this in my report, which that's what really broke me down, was saying I lost control of the class, and those kind of really powerful phrases. You lost control of the class. It was only maybe 3 boys at that time who weren't listening. Everyone else was on task, they were doing it right. You know, I marked the work afterwards. It wasn't bad, they did make progress, but it just broke me down. At the time, I think my mentor was a brand new mentor, and she didn't really stand up for me even though she knew the children. Later on in the year, when they still hadn't improved, she was defensive with me. She was explaining. We even had to get external help to support us with those children. But at the time, she didn't really defend me, and I felt completely ganged up on. And of course, that meeting after a formal observation is a completely new experience. And if you are yet to go through a formal observation, please don't let this video scare you. I'm just honestly just sharing this experience because it's part of my journey, and I think we always see the perfect side and the positive side of everything on social media, and I think it's just important to show you that not everyone is perfect, and that actually it is a huge journey, but it's a journey that is so worthwhile, it's so rewarding, you learn so much. And I think recalling this story to you now, it's kind of making me realize, like, wow, I've come so far. Even if you go into the teaching journey thinking, oh yeah, I can, you know, handle kids, I know what to say to them, or you've had experience before, you still come out learning so much. So let this be a message of growth rather than a message of be scared of lesson observations. That's not what I'm trying to do at all. So I just want to put that out there. And so I felt ganged up on and really quite upset, and I started defending them. I was like, listen, this child, these are his needs, this was quite good behavior for him. I was saying that this child, and in my report, rather than showing that I cared a lot and I knew my children and I knew, you know, what they needed and what they were like, it just said, target, be less defensive when receiving criticism. And even now, it's like sucking a lemon when I say that. I stand by it now, and I don't think that caring for your children, explaining what they're going through or in their personal life, or understanding them and understanding what is good behavior for them, I don't think that's defensive. And that really hurt. And for maybe the next 2, it was very hard to talk to my tutor. I felt a wall had been built up and I really just couldn't say anything. And the moment he said a criticism, even if I just maybe explained it or explained what happened, or always defensive. And I really couldn't say anything. And going back to that first meeting, I just cried and I thought, this is so unfair. You know, this was actually a good lesson for me, because those 8 boys in the past, they have not been nice in the past, you know, whether it's being violent or I don't know. It's difficult to explain without being there. But I actually was really disappointed. And afterwards, I was really shaken. I definitely think I came out of my PGCE year more nervous, less confident than when I went in. And it's also just about knowing the power of your words on somebody in general, really. It really kind of scarred me and it upset me, and I was crying and I couldn't look at him straight faced. I couldn't. Afterwards, it was just so tough, and just hearing his name became like a source of anger. The formal observation straight away became an event worthy of shoulders up and kind of tensing up and freezing. And it was tough. And it was tough. But, you know, like I said, it's all part of the journey, and I want to use this more as a tool to empower you and to acknowledge the difficulties in this journey, rather than thinking it's just plain sailing. Or if you are struggling right now, please just talk to somebody. I didn't feel at first that I could talk to my mentor. Later on, when I came back from my second placement, oh, I could have called her my best friend. You know, we got on so well, and I think that kind of gap made both of us appreciate the other more. So that was lovely. But at the time, you know, my family and my friends and my boyfriend were a real source of support. And especially with this lockdown thing, which is another reason why I want to talk to you about this, because it's going to be tough, is make sure that you have some kind of social circle that you can at least talk to. You know, don't feel like you are, if you have a bad day, that's one bad day. Doesn't mean the rest of your week is going to be a bad day. Doesn't mean the rest of your month, the rest of the term is going to be a bad day. Try and push that one day aside. Talk to somebody about it, or try and find a method to vent your anger or your frustration. Obviously now gyms aren't possible, but you can go for a walk, or belt out a song that you absolutely love, or dance to something that makes you happy, eat your favorite food. You know, just do something that warms your heart and kind of creates that positive energy that you require to have that positive and that healthy well-being that makes you go into that class the next day with a smile on your face. Forget what happened before. Just let it be a new start every single day. And with this lockdown, it's going to be tricky. A lot of us don't have access to the things that kind of help our well-being and help us feel better. So maybe take time when you have a moment spare to think about, what can I do when I'm feeling down? What can I put in place to ensure that it is available for me when I need it? You know, is that a secret stash of chocolate? Is that a set time every week where you can maybe FaceTime a friend? Is there a music playlist you can listen to when you need that kind of hype and you need that kind of boost? Just think of something that can really cheer you up. Because being realistic, and please, you know, share your experiences down below if you've had a moment where you just thought, I can't do this anymore, or I'm so mad and frustrated, but yet you've kind of grown from it, or how did you cope with it? Please let me know, because I feel like we're all in this together. Did anyone else just sing High School Musical then? Okay, unprofessional. Yeah, let me know down below, because we are all human and we all experience these things. And even though I come on and give you tips and advice, it's because I've been there. It's not because I'm the perfect person. You know, I got a cause for concern in that lesson. A cause for concern. And I got an intervention plan afterwards, and I had to fight hard to get rid of that intervention plan just because of fiddling and a boy that wouldn't sit down. You know? But I think that those difficult behaviours made me so much more prepared for my NQT year than if I would have had a perfect class that listened to everything I said first time round. You know, I had no issues with anything like that. And then in my NQT year, if I would have a class with a lot of behavioural issues, wow, that would have been tough. So I really do look at the positive now, and like you saw at the beginning, I almost teared up because I really do miss them, and it ended so abruptly that I'm so glad you guys have the opportunity to continue your placements or to have that experience now that trainees are counted as critical workers or key workers. Having said that, I really do sympathise with you if it would be best to shut schools. I've seen so many differing opinions about this, but essentially this is the decision that has been made regarding COVID. It's lockdown, but schools are still open. So we need to make sure that we are fit and healthy, both in our body and our mind, in order for us to just smash this term. We all can do it, whether you are a trainee, an NQT, supply or PPA, or an experienced teacher. We can get through this. We did get through the first one. So let's just focus on ourselves, see every setback and obstacle as a part of our journey, have the coping strategies in place to just move on, start a new day, and absolutely rock this profession. Show that educators rock, essentially. That is my message. A waffly one, a story time, whatever you want to call it. That is part of my journey that it took me a year to retell, but hopefully it comes with an important message for you as well. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please share your experiences down below, because I actually really enjoy hearing about others, and I think when you put yourself in a vulnerable position, it's nice for people to reassure you and say that you're not alone in it. So please leave that comment below if you feel brave enough and comfortable enough to do so. If you would like more teach content, like to see more, please subscribe and hit that bell button so you can be notified when I upload, and I will see you soon. Bye!